It's hard to believe that it's been over a year since the beginning of the A350 surface defect saga. Time does fly. An initial dispute regarding the surface defects over the Airbus A350 and Qatar Airways has turned into a hotly contested legal battle that's seen orders cancelled, Airbus terminating deals, and much more. Qatar Airways says that their A350s were not in good condition, and Airbus claims that Qatar was exaggerating the issues that they were finding. It is turning into, of course, quite the spectacle, and it's a battle that is headed to court, and in the latest update it hasn't progressed nearly as much as we may have hoped, with now the ruling coming that will see a split trial. This decision means that the trial scheduled for next year will be split down the middle, essentially into two critical parts, and what it means is that for this ongoing saga, it'll go on right through 2023, which would eventually result in this entire process lasting more than 2 years, and that's to say if it does conclude by the end of 2023. So, how will next year pan out precisely? Well, it's been determined that from June of 2023, we'll see the liability area examined, and the second part of the trial will focus on the all-important damages. Qatar Airways believes they're in their own right to be owed billions of dollars, and with every passing day, feel that number should only continue rising. This stems from the airline's belief that the surface defects pose a safety risk to their aircraft and the passengers on board. Now, Airbus has openly admitted on numerous occasions that there is a defect, and yes, it does need sorting. However, one thing that they have remained adamant by is that it isn't a safety risk, as Qatar Airways says, with regulators also backing up Airbus's crucial point on that. Whichever way the case goes, most have agreed that the state of the new A350s are certainly not of the highest order, and far exceed an aircraft's ordinary wear and tear. The legal process thus far has been quite messy, that has really only evolved. Both sides have haggled for additional information. Airbus have questioned decisions by Qatar Airways. However, the lack of overall communication and transparency has promptly seen Qatar Airways wanting to hear Airbus's dealings with other carriers on the matter. These comments from Qatar Airways may be of interest, but they do come as the A350 surface defects have been reported as not an isolated issue. However, the surface defects have never reached the levels of Qatar Airways, and other airlines have been in agreement that it has not impacted their overall operations. That being said, it would be wrong to assume that one airline's defects are the exact same to, say, another's. So, naturally, the Doha-based carrier wants to understand the European plane makers' dealings with these other customers to see if there are any discrepancies that can be found, especially in the form of critical technical information about the key root cause. As we close out 2022, this battle only continues, and I think can be described with one word, and that one word being messy. How this pans out remains to be seen, but one thing that can be absolute sure is that it will primarily occupy the headlines throughout 2023 following this new split decision ruling. We are not any closer to a final outcome. I'd be interested to hear your take on this entire process. How do you believe it's going to end? Do you see it with Airbus winning or potentially Qatar Airways securing those funding? Or will they meet in the middle? With all the fallout from termination of orders and much more, it's hard to see a mutual agreement coming this far into the trial, but do let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.